Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guest, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This show's audio was via a Skype call.
Get ready to enjoy the fullest version of yourself because SourceLight Radio, high-frequency healing for an amazing life with Laura Barton starts now. Learn about a unique spectrum of energy called SourceLight integration and how to elevate your vibrational aspect. Follow along as host Laura Barton explores reconnecting into the universal grid and bringing about physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual balance. SourceLight Radio, high-frequency healing for an amazing life.
Hey, everyone, I'm Dr. Pat, and I get to have the honor of doing this amazing show with Laura. You know, normally what I would do is I would spend some time introducing Laura, but today's show is all about Laura sharing her story, her talent, her gifts, her calling. And so what I want everybody to know is that sometimes we get a vision for ourselves and our lives that are so amazing. And then what we are called to do is to step forward and do them. Today, you're going to hear about what SourceLight Integrations is. And we're going to talk a little bit about the previous shows. And throughout the show today, you're going to hear a story about what Laura has been able to show up, step up, and deliver in today's world. Laura, it's great to have you here. This is one of these shows where, you know, you're able to introduce not just who you are, but why you are. And so it's great. Let's start out. Let's do a recap. You know, I think folks have heard today that, you know, this is SourceLight Radio. The topic for today is like looking at universal integration of what it means to humanity. And so in order for us to do that, let's talk about what SourceLight integrations are. And let's do a recap of that, because that will set the stage for the folks that have shown up on previous shows and what they've experienced.
You know, simply put, in my own healing journey, I finally figured it out with some help, of course, and learned how to, like I said, access this bandwidth and direct it into a living being or a plant, an animal, or even at the earth itself to return things to balance. We could be talking about someone's emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual challenges. We could be talking about our beloved pets that are going through transition of any kind. We could be talking about working with the elements and what's happening with our planet. So, you know, my clients are across the globe, and we're blessed to come together and do this work in a way that not only helps heal in the immediate, but since we're all connected, helps heal the collective as well, anywhere on the timeline. That's what I do.
And you know, this is really really an enormous time for healing energy. And you know, we're seeing it at many levels. We're seeing it at the bodily level, at the individual level. We're seeing it at group levels. We're seeing at national levels. We're seeing at global levels. We're seeing it at the earth plane level. The earth is screaming out to us in so many ways. And so the timing of this, and to talk about this, don't you find that it is relevant to the energies that are happening in the world today?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we think of ourselves as being just that, ourself. We hear the comments that we are all connected, and scientists have proven that genetically we're only 7 steps away from any other human on the planet. We also know that our mood, our emotional state, for example, will affect our pets. And we know, because we've heard it over and over and over since the 60s, that if you talk to plants, they grow better. Of course. It's all connected, you know, in every aspect. And that's why working with such a comprehensive bandwidth of energy, light, and vibration is so important. On the earlier shows that we've done, Pat, we had a guest, Jade Rader, a multidimensional coach, talking about her healing experience with SourceLight integrations and how that kind of stepped in at a time where no matter how much work she'd done with the physical body and a lot of work on the emotional body, she just couldn't get a shoulder to balance out. There was a lot of pain there, and it was related to a number of different factors. And between she and I, we did that work. And the next show that we hosted, Ingrid Falk came on from California, and she talked about her experiences with me as a client, how she brought family members and friends to me for sessions, and even her congregation, her entire church, for a group session. So energy isn't limited other than by what a person perceives. It can be anything, anywhere, at any time, to anyone. And really, that's absolutely beautiful.
Let's talk a little bit more about the previous shows, because you've had several guests who have come on and talked about what their experience was like. And you know, one of the things, Laura, we should really point out that, you know, what these folks shared was really life-altering. You know, it wasn't like something nonchalant. We were talking about things in the world that many people look at and call miraculous. And, you know, having something going wrong with the body also affects the emotional plane, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. And the truth is, it begins in the emotional plane and then manifests into the body. You know, somebody can have a traumatic childhood and, you know, move through it without a lot of apparent effects, and then at some point will develop a disease or disorder, and by doing emotional work, energy work, they're able to clear that block, and the physical manifestation of that relieves. I mean, there's so many people that are blessed to be able to work with those aspects, you know, and I'm excited that I'm in that mix.
Yeah, no kidding. Laura, what we're going to do is I would love to take a short break because we do have a lot to talk about in the show today. You know, when we come back, we're going to talk about, you know, what is this idea? What is universal integration? And what is it about that that's so relative to the sciences of today that we're barely scratching the surface understanding? How does it work? And then let's talk about what the call to action is that gives us enormous benefits in not just living life, but thriving in this world, thriving in this life. And part of today is, you know, looking at Laura's journey in detail. What is it when you get tapped on the shoulder and being asked to do something that may not seem like the world is ready for it? What is it about Laura that said yes to this and is taking her message worldwide in an even bigger way? Let's take a short break, Nathan, and when we come back, we'll let you know how to find out more about Laura, how to work with Laura, all of the above. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to grow spiritually, expand your consciousness, increase psychic abilities? Well, there's a free app for that. Pure Light offers audios that transmit high spiritual frequencies to help you awaken to your full potential. Hundreds of audios created by some of the world's top energy healers, and many are free. Enjoy the latest in conscious technology and download Pure Light today. To find out more, visit purelight.audio.com.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com. Tap into the wisdom of animals, angels, and masters with Darcy Pariso on Animal Soul Wisdom Radio. Tune in monthly as Darcy brings insights on how to better understand and deepen our relationships with animals. Working with light and pureness of ancient techniques, Darcy, healer, animal communicator, and medium, is here to guide you through this process and provide inspiration to move forward. For more information about working with Darcy, visit darcypariso.com.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com. To find answers to life's questions, you need to look within yourself. Dr. Glenna Rice brings your questionable conversations on Transformation Talk Radio each month. Tune in each month for insight into how you can live up to your full potential. Dr. Glenna is a physical therapist, certified Access Consciousness, and Access Body Class facilitator. How does it get any better than this? For more information on Dr. Glenna Rice and her work, visit glennarice.com.
Welcome back, everybody. You know what? We talk about a lot of really cool, powerful things, but here's what I want to say. We also know how to smile and laugh a little bit, too. You know, one of the things that I love about what we do is that we really do believe that energy is everything. And today, Laura Barton's joining me here today because this is a story that explains what happens when we say yes to what we're meant to do in this world. But more importantly, what if that yes was to extraordinarily work with people, the energies of the planet, in a profoundly powerful healing way? That's what we're talking about with Laura today. Universal integration. Laura, before we talk about universal integration in more detail, I think it's important for folks to know, one, how to find out more about you, how to work with you, and how you actually work with people. So what's the best way to do all of that?
Well, the best way, hands down, is to go to my website, SourceLightIntegrations.com. I offer a 15-minute consultation. You can schedule that right online, and I'm happy to talk with people about what might be going on with them and where their challenges are, and you know, explore what we can do together to release that. You know, it's all about bringing things back to balance, balancing out the energy flow in a person's being so that they can live the fullest version of their life possible. That's what I help people do. So you can contact me through my website. You can call me. My cell is 970-519-1683. Again, that's 970-519-1683. And although I'm based in beautiful Glenwood Springs, Colorado, I travel where I'm needed, where I'm called, and I do an incredible amount of distance work with folks across the globe that have heard about my work, usually word of mouth or on Facebook at SourceLight Integration, and reach out because they've got something going on that they just haven't been able to move through. So it's just been fantastic how we've been drawn together to move people through the issues and the challenges that they face, regardless of whether it's on the emotional level, physical, mental, or spiritual plane.
The thing that I love about what we're talking about here today is that once upon a time, there wasn't really a whole lot of hope for people that had any sort of solution. You know, it's one thing to have hope. It's another thing to have hope in action, which means that there is a solution. And that's part of what we're talking about today. You know, let's get right at it. You know, universal integration is something that I've said a number of times throughout this show today. And now I think, you know, it's so important to let folks know, what does it mean and how does it work?
Well, universal integration is where I access this unique bandwidth of energy, light, and frequency or vibration, if you want to call it that, and direct it into a person's field, focusing specifically on points and lines on and around the body. Hand placement, I mean, not that I'm touching, but the points and the lines, the way my hands are positioned, the order in which this occurs is really important. And it's in I do it in basically 2 sessions on consecutive days in person. And it has to be prefaced by 3 sessions of SourceLight integrations work first. Because a person needs to be as clear as absolutely possible of any challenges or issues that they're dealing with before I move them into that process. It creates a much clearer channel for greater grace and ease and integration.
What is it?
Go ahead.
What is it about that? Because I want to make sure that folks understand this. You know, the word integration is so important, and it's used in so many ways, right? You know, especially when we're looking at a society now where we're putting things in silos, right? You know what I mean? You know, we're taking a look at everything from complex organizational systems to our body, and we are not looking at why integration is important. And so I think this point that you're making is very important, and it's powerful, and I want to make sure people truly understand that the end game might be at some point in time to get very specific and deal with like a thing, like a one thing. But we don't really live in a universe of one things, do we?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. So with SourceLight integrations leading into the process of universal integration, we're clearing, we're balancing, we're releasing, grounding, all those wonderful things. And then the universal integration process connects the person back into the universal grid as we once were at one time. The integration aspect is important because this work raises the body's vibration and shifts DNA. So without some time to process that, frankly, it can be uncomfortable. And integration on any level is just simply that, allowing a little bit of time when you're making some change so that you can move into the next phase, if you will, with greater grace and ease. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't know about you, but I don't think that we were meant to live in the place of struggle. And so I have a friend that says, if it's light, it's right. And when things are hard, they're hard for a reason, but they're not hard for a permanence. And it's very difficult to take one isolated thing at a time and wait for our life to change. If we don't look at what you're saying in the integration of energies and healings, we may have to come back like a million lifetimes to get things done, don't you think?
Absolutely. And we don't want to do that. We're at a point in humanity where it's all coming together. It's all shifting. We're accelerating. We're moving forward at a rate that's unparalleled in human history. So by making sure that we're as clear and as aligned as possible, and part of that process for many, many people is universal integration, because we align the meridians, the energy flow of the body. And people don't realize that those lines of the body, the energy of the body, doesn't just stop at your feet or the top of your head. It flows into the earth and into the ether. Okay? There's been a lot of publicity lately, books written, people giving talks about earthing, walking barefoot on the ground so that you can, absorb the effect of the earth's vibration as well. So that being said, the earth has ley lines, which are, as related to the human body, kind of like the meridian line. All right? And they don't just end. They extend out into the universe, and they connect with a universal gridding system as well. That's what the universal integration is all about, is reconnecting a person back into that universal grid, balancing out the physical and energetic bodies so that you can flow into the ley lines of the earth so that you're connected into the universal grid. Some people are pretty aware. We've heard about this in different religious philosophies and whatnot. Some people call it the fall from grace, where we were these magnificent beings, fully awake, fully conscious, able to do all these wonderful things. And then something happened, and holy cow, we can't do that anymore. Right. And how does the person even begin to get to that state? Well, some sages and teachers could call it enlightenment. It could be called any number of things by any group in society or member of. But one of the important steps is to make sure that you're aligned and connected all the way around. And that's the universal grid. That's like the final step. And when a person goes through that process and moves into that level of connection, everything in their lives that no longer serves them begins to fall away. Whether it's, oh my gosh, that job just really isn't what I like. All of a sudden, they come across a job that's fulfilling and rewarding. Maybe a relationship that, needs some shifting here. All of a sudden it shifts, or maybe the perfect relationship comes into play. I had a client one time, in 1 year, she found the perfect job, she found the perfect man, and they ended up in the perfect house.
Wow.
Perfect. Just boom, boom, boom. Because she became clear, she became aligned, and she stepped into it. And it's not always comfortable, because we're human. We like hanging on to our stuff sometimes. Yeah. To the point that when it's trying to leave, we hang on to it even that much more strongly, and then it becomes uncomfortable. Like you said earlier, if it's light, it's right. Yeah. And when it's not, guess what? It needs to go by the wayside.
Exactly. And, this is part of why we work with you. It's because the journey is so difficult to see when we're looking at ourselves. It really is. The greatest thing that I learned in my life is how to accept feedback. And so I really count on it. I'm very fortunate. I've got a best friend, been my best friend, but I'm also fortunate I surround myself with people that are willing to tell me what they think. And if I venture out a little bit and they are like, well, wait a minute, we don't agree, we have a conversation about it. And I think that we have to be the same about reaching out to get help with people, to reach out and get help to heal. Before we go to break, Laura, what I'd like to do is, again, please mention your website and tell everybody a little bit more about the consultation that you do.
I will. My website is SourceLightIntegrations.com. I'm also on Facebook. I have a SourceLight Integrations page. And I offer a free consultation, a 15-minute consultation. We can talk pretty much about whatever it is that you've got going on and determine how well we could work together. And you can just simply book that through my website 24/7.
I love it. We're going to take a short break because we're not done yet. When we come back, what we're going to be looking at and talking about is this, Laura mentioned it a few minutes ago, this universal grid. And, when we think about a universal grid, I know you're going to be relating to this because almost every time you see sort of something mapped out, even the universe now, we put it in a grid form. What is it, one, about grids in general? What do they give us a measure or a guide to? But then how about this universal grid? Are you affected? Well, let's find out from Laura when we come back. We'll be right back.
Tune in to Synergenetic Living Radio, where Rick and Grace Paris discuss the synergenetic way of life, what it means to truly change your perspective in life, what it means to take control of your life and manifest your true desires. For more information on Rick and Grace Paris and Synergenetic Living, check out synergeneticliving.com. Get clear on the life you desire and the current life you are creating and what is between the two. Synergenetic Living, living life loud.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Demystifying the Journey on From Here to There Radio with your host, Diane Garris. Tune in every third Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com as Diane helps you get from where you are now to the life you envision. Get ready to get unstuck and move forward. Every show features a new special segment, New Age Notes, demystifying hot metaphysical topics of the day. For more information or to work with Diane, visit DianeGarris.com.
Do you know how powerful your thoughts and beliefs are in determining your experience of your life? Is it really true that simply by changing some of the words you use in your day-to-day language, that you can change your life? I'm Megan Edge. Join me on Playing on the Edge, Radical Change with Ease, with my co-host Dr. Pat on Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to seeing you there.
To find out more about Megan Edge, visit her website at meganedge.ca.
A word of caution, if you prefer the status quo and you are not interested in improving every aspect of your life, this book will trigger the shift out of you. The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens is available now. Author Colette Steffen brings the powerful knowledge and life-changing energy and empowerment from the radio airwaves to the pages of her new book. To get your copy in paperback or ebook, visit thetruthисfunny.com today.
Practice living in wholeness and achieve fulfillment in your life with your body in full service to you. Sign up for the Body Tune-Up. 6 online classes designed for radical self-healing and self-regeneration. Go to CorneliaStephanie.com. Evolve. Become a practitioner now.
everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Laura, before we talk about not just about your journey, but about the powerful work that the universe has called forth through you, I want to make sure folks know, one, that they can find out more about the folks that you mentioned earlier in the show. They can find out more about that. They can listen to the archives, certainly, and, get more information. But the other way to get more information is to schedule a free 15-minute consultation with you. Would you please let folks know the best way to do that?
Oh, sure, Pat. All they have to do is just simply go to my website, SourceLight Integrations with an S.com. There's a little tab that you'll find on just about every page that you can click on, which will take you to my scheduler, and you can put in some information, be as brief or as detailed as you want, and schedule a 15-minute consultation. So the scheduler's up 24/7. I'm not, but we can certainly make it work within the timelines that I'm available. And, if they're interested in some of the experiences other people have had with my work, other than just listening to the archives as we've talked about, there's a page called What Others Say, where I've been blessed with some very beautiful people passionate about the change they've experienced with SourceLight integrations and the universal integration, what that has meant to their life, and how it has helped them move forward. And when a person calls me and is asking me questions or shoots me an email, I always say, hey, gosh, those are great questions that you can answer by looking at that and the diversity of people's experience. That's why they've come forward sharing their first and last name and where they live, because they want people to know that this is the real deal.
The real deal is, too, in the world, we are bombarded 24/7 now. I mean, we could spend, Laura, just 3 hours just talking about electromagnetic energy, but we're not. We're going to talk about what you discovered on the way to becoming you, and later on in the show, you're going to talk about becoming you. But one of the things you mentioned was the universal grid. I love this term for a lot of reasons. Right now in the world, grids are powerfully being presented. So let me give you a couple of really benign examples. Almost on every graphic now, we're seeing geometrical images. We're seeing grids. We're seeing almost like imagery of compartmentalized versions of abstract linear relationships. So the idea of a universal grid is not a far-fetched concept, because the consciousness of the planet right now is presenting these. However, it is a system, and that's what you're going to explain today. It's not an image. It's not a static piece of paper. It is a dynamic system, right?
It is.
Yeah.
I love the portrait you paint of the grid like on a map. We know that our planets are situated in a certain way, and it changes at certain times of the year. Our whole universe is fluid. Everything is energy. Everything is moving. And to tie fully into that is really where we're headed, and that's what I'm here to help with, is getting people to that place of unification with the whole picture, not just a component or a piece or a simple pattern, but with the awesome complexity and beauty of it all. That's what the universal integration is.
We're looking at this, and I know for me and the many people listening, I've not been able to go through the healing process alone, Laura. And let's just talk about that. You apparently are gifted and going to share that. But let's talk about how, from your perspective, you've understood the universal grid to work. Because anytime we talk about a grid and then we add the word system to it, it represents the dynamics of, it could be a few interrelated parts, or it could be a lot of interrelated parts. And for the average person, unless there is some way that they have learned how to pull those energies together in alignment, it really does require a talent and a skill, which obviously you have. Can we talk about what that experience is like for you?
Well, when we're talking about the awesome complexity of the universal grid system and reconnecting into that, what we're talking about is coming into the fullest version of ourselves. And it's a process. It unfolds for several years. And, you know, it's ever-changing just as we continue to grow in the different ways that we're led. So the universal aspect of it is just simply a unification with all that is in a greater sense than what we typically envision it being. It's a whole step forward. It's a whole shift vibrationally. It's a DNA shift. It's huge. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping people, trying to help people understand what that is and how they can move into it. There's a page on my website. Oh, actually, there's a tab on the home page in the middle. There's 3. And the tab says Ascension, and underneath that is the description of universal integration, linking to a page on that specifically, so that for our listeners, if some of this is kind of not making sense, there's something that you can actually read, and hopefully will kind of fill in the blanks for what I'm trying to explain.
When we think about this, I don't know about you, but let's talk about it. You gave a couple of examples earlier, Laura, and the example that you gave earlier was talking about some of the folks we've previously had on the show. And my recollection of their experience was that they were presented with some very, with what I consider complex ailments. And what I mean by that is complex ailments is that you've reached out, try to get people to help you. Nobody can help you. And so like, oh, we have a mystery. And in those scenarios, folks shared what the power was of the work that you do, and you did. And I think this is really, for many people listening, as we step out into the world and we talk about energy, right? It is now not a foreign term for people. But that doesn't fill the gap between, oh, let's talk about energy, and, oh, wait a minute, will it work for me? That's what you do. You help fill that gap, right?
I do my best. In the first show, our guest, Jade Rader, talked about some shoulder issues that she was having trouble clearing up, and it didn't seem to matter what she did. And she worked on it in a number of different ways, both on the physical as well as energetically and emotional. And by bringing in this bandwidth of energy, light, and information, we were able to clear that. You know, and in the second show, Ingrid talked about some relationships that she'd had for decades with beloved friends that were shifting. And when we worked together, when we brought her into alignment with the universal grid, those relationships shifted in a very vibrant and dynamic way for all the parties involved, so that everybody started going forward much more fully with their lives, and it wasn't constrictive or restrictive. However, whenever change comes into someone's life, we have a tendency to want to hold on to what's comfortable, and it can be difficult to let go. So that being said, there's parts of the work that, you know, the more you hang on to something that's trying to release, it might present some challenges.
Yeah. So we're going to take a short break, but one of the most important things to talk about is, how does one hear the call, and then how does one answer to the call? because I know for myself, the universe had to orchestrate some very important dots that had to be connected. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Laura's going to share the story of the calling, and it's what I like to call call and response. We'll be right back.
Could you swim with sharks? Is fear holding you back from living your life? The time is now to jump in and be courageous. Shelly Ryan has created a retreat to help you move past your fears with confidence. Join her June 30th through July 7th in Mexico. Have some fun, relax. Plus, you'll have the opportunity to be courageous with a whale and shark adventure. For more information, visit yournextchaptercoaching.com.
High-frequency healing for an amazing life with SourceLight Radio. Join host Laura Barton each month on Transformation Talk Radio as she explores SourceLight integration, a unique spectrum of energy, light, and frequency. Experience instantaneous healing and amazing shifts in consciousness with SourceLight Integrations Radio. For more information on Laura and her work, visit SourceLightIntegrations.com.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
What is a brilliant culture, and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you align your culture with your business strategy for exceptional results. Looking for a culture that drives organizational excellence? Listen to Cultural Brilliance Radio, the second and fourth Friday of each month at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit culturalbrilliance.com.
Ignite your inner magic on Grow Your Soul Radio with Jane Matanga. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Jane Matanga explores how to overcome your fears to help you gain the inspiration you need to awaken your path to joy. Learn the way to life mastery and the enlightened path with Grow Your Soul Radio. For more information on Jane Matanga and her work, visit enlightened-path.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Laura Barton's in the house today. And, you know, this is really a conversation about what universal integration means, but not just what it means to us as individuals, but what it means to humanity. And so today, Laura has taken us on a journey. Right now, Laura, one more time, please give out your website. But right now, many folks want to know the story behind the gift. And that's what we're going to talk about. How did all this start for you, Laura?
Well, first of all, I'll answer your question about reaching out to me. SourceLight Integrations with an S.com is my website. You can find me on Facebook at SourceLight Integrations. I have a page for that. And if you do go to my website, feel free to email me. And I also offer a 15-minute consultation. There's a tab that you can click on. I'll take you right to my scheduler to answer a couple of questions, and we'll get together. So
I love it.
To answer the second question, my journey has really been, like a lot of people feel their journey is really a journey. Well, I've always known that I was very different, and in some cases I didn't fit in well, but I felt like I knew things that there was no way that I could know them at this time since I was a small child. And over the course of my life, I just tell people I've lived a lot of life because it's been extremely diverse, fairly traumatic by most people's view. And for me, I came to a place where I wanted to know more about why in the heck did I sign up for this, and how long has this been going on? How long have I been around? And so beginning in the late 2012, 2013, I started reaching out to people that could tap into, let's say, the Akashic Records, or that could give me answers on a psychic level, or mediums that could help me understand from my ancestors what this is all about. And what they've done is confirm what I've sensed all along. Mm-hmm. I am one of the original ones that came to the planet as part of a group in the very beginning. And my name is Ayahana, and a lot of people are more comfortable referring to me as Laura Barton, and I'm totally fine either way. My mission is to, and has always been from the very beginning, is to help the planet and all sentient beings, people, animals, come to an evolvement of themselves, a development of themselves, no matter what that looked like, okay? Whether it was helping, well, for example, helping tutor my classmates in grade school, or working with people that were at one point victims of domestic violence, helping them come to the fullest version of themselves and regain their quality of life, okay? At this point, I'm helping people heal on all levels, whether it's, physical issues that have been around for so long that they even forgot that they were dealing with it because they just keep dealing with it. Whether it's post-traumatic stress disorder. Hey, I've worked with a lot of veterans. Whether it's helping a family that's grieving because their beloved chose to transition out during this time, or even helping the beloved that's transitioning come to a greater state of balance and with more grace and ease in the process. Mm-hmm. My mission is as multifaceted within the realm of helping people come to their fullest version as people are in their individual walk. I've not found one situation yet where I couldn't help someone in some way with the work that I'm blessed to do. And that's why I know, without a doubt, that I am following the path that I was sent here to do, that I'm doing the work that I signed up for, that I've learned a lot of lessons and I've helped teach a lot of lessons, and we all do that, but in a way that has made a difference in so many lives. And when I read the testimonials on the What Others Say page on my website, boy, I'll tell you, there's times I get pretty choked up. I can see people's faces. I can hear their words. I can look back through the notes that I take as we're working together, and the changes that we saw and the shifting that occurred, the releases and the energies that came in. And it just literally, it takes my breath away. I'm very humbled by the depth and the breadth of this work that I've brought to the planet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not only that, your humility shines through, but it also shows up in the talent and the gift that you have in working with others. Because without humility at that level, it's very difficult to put aside all of your personal perspectives and ego and get to the core of what really needs to be healed. Thank you so much for sharing that story. One last question. I'd love to know your personal message, and please give out your website again.
My personal message is that you can accomplish anything as long as you're willing to reach out for the help and move forward fully into your heart. It's all about the heart. It's all about clearing any blocks anywhere that might not allow you to live fully from the heart. If you want to talk more about that or any of these things that we've discussed today on the show, please reach out to me. Send me an email, laura@SourceLightIntegrations.com.
Wow. Thank you all for tuning us in and turning us on. And I want to just remind everyone that you can schedule your free 15-minute consultation. All you need to do is just go to Laura's website and poke around. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful site. Oh my gosh, the energy here is just like amazing. The other thing you're going to find is read some of these testimonials. Read what people have said about what it's like to work with Laura and the results that she has brought forward. All of that and much more. I want to thank all of you for being you. You are the best listeners in the galaxy. Maybe like other galaxies. Nathan, thank you for pushing all the right buttons. Hey, everybody, another hour on Transformation Talk Radio coming up now. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to SourceLight Radio, high-frequency healing for an amazing life with host Laura Barton. Thank you, and we hope you join us next month on Transformation Talk Radio as Laura explores the concept and application of SourceLight integration, bringing balance, shifts in consciousness, and instantaneous healing. For more information about Laura and her work, or listen to past shows, visit her website at SourceLightIntegrations.com.